Hi, I'm Michelle Paris, Financial Advisor at T Squared Financial. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. This month we will discuss basics to retirement planning, focusing on benefits of starting sooner. After the presentation, I'll open up for questions. During that time, you can ask questions about anything that crosses your mind related to finances, insurance, the economy, the market, etc. Let's get started. Retirement planning and accounts are a broad topic. This slide includes a few types of retirement accounts. When you leave your employer-sponsored plan, you typically have a few options, each with their own advantages and disadvantages. You can leave the money with your former employer, if that's permitted. You can roll the funds over to your new employer, if that's available, and rollovers are permitted. You can roll the funds over to an IRA, or you can cash the account value. When you cash it out, though, keep in mind you typically would receive some sort of taxation, so please talk to your tax professional about that before doing that. Employer-sponsored plans such as 401ks typically cannot be moved or transferred until you no longer work at your employer. A rollover is when you no longer work at your employer and request the 401k company to mail you a check to deposit into an IRA account. The check must be deposited within 60 days to avoid taxes and penalties. 401ks are only available through employers and have high contribution limits. These can be opened and funded on your own or funded through rolling over a 401k. IRAs are individual retirement accounts. These can be opened and funded on your own or from a 401k's previous employer rolled into it. Sometimes you can do direct transfers as well. It really depends. SEPs are for self-employed people offering higher contribution limits. IRAs, SEPs, and 401ks all have tax-deductible contributions, grow tax-free, and at withdrawal, income tax is owed. There are penalties for withdrawals prior to age 59.5. They can still be transferred and rolled over within guidelines without taxes and penalties. At age 72, these accounts require you to take a required minimum distribution, also known as an RMD. Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks are taxed differently than the others. Roth contributions are not tax deductible. There's no tax when growing, and there's no income tax on withdrawal. There are no RMD requirements either for Roth IRAs. This is a list of contribution limits for retirement accounts we discussed in the previous slide. The catch-up contributions are increases in the limits for people over age 50. The IRAs and Roth IRAs, a person over 50 can contribute $7,000. For 401ks, a person over 50 can contribute $27,000 for 2022. I've included the contribution amounts for 2021 because contributions can still be made up until you file your taxes or April 18th of this year, which is the tax deadline for filing your 2021 taxes. There are some limits on contributing to multiple retirement accounts, as well as some have income limits. So please reach out to a tax professional or financial professional if you have questions on the limits contributing to these types of accounts for your personal situation. The basics for retirement come down to start saving early and save as much as you can. Save early because time's on your side. The more time you have compounding growth, more time to invest can also decrease the risk of market movements, and you can adjust if life changes. If you're further from retiring, you're also able to recover from market drops and recessions. Nearing retirement gives less time to recover on losses if you're invested more aggressively. Active management can also come into play here, adjusting the portfolio to your situation, life changes, and changes in the market and economy. Save as much as you can. The simple way to build wealth is to save and increase the amount you save. Know the limits of retirement account contributions. Try to max them out. This is an illustration to show how saving early can really add up. This is an example showing if a person contributed $83.33 a month, which ends up being about $1,000 a year. With this example, we assume 8% annual interest, the investor being invested in a moderate aggressive portfolio, 60% equities, 40% fixed income. Person A started at age 18, saves for 10 years till they're age 28, saving a total of $9,999.60. If the funds are invested till age 65 in that moderate aggressive portfolio, they could grow to around $293,251 in that scenario. Person B waits to start saving till age 28 and saves for 37 years to age 65, saving $36,998. By retirement, they have $227,866. That's $65,000 less than person A from starting 10 years later, even though they saved more. See where compounding comes in here? Person C starts saving at 18, saving 47 years till age 65, and they invest $46,998.12, which by retirement grows to $478,345. That's showing how long-term savings habit can benefit you in the long term. Remember, each person saved $83.33 a month. The sooner you start and the longer it can compound and grow, the longer you save, the more wealth you'll be able to build. Another important part is life changes. As life changes, the contribution amount can change. If you increase that $83 a month by 10% each year, the growth can be even greater. If you're earning more, contribute a little more towards your retirement. Retirement can seem a long ways away, but the sooner you start saving, the longer you have to build wealth to relax and actually enjoy your retirement years without worry. Okay, it's time for your questions. To ask a question, please click the button to raise your hand, and I'll unmute you so you can ask your question. You can also send a question to the email on the screen, and I can answer it that way as well, either during the presentation or after. And if you have a question on your personal situation, please contact me privately. I want to thank you all for attending today. I hope you found the information useful. If you're looking for the raise your hand button, it's usually either on the bottom of your screen or in the participant section. There's a spot that says raise your hand. Okay, Warren, I unmuted you. I should be able to hear you, so you can ask your question.
There. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I was going to say, is everyone else hearing this too?
Yes, everyone can hear you. It's the webinar setup is you can't see each other, but you can hear each other.
Okay, good. Now, you mentioned about the Roth IRA that you could take the money out at any time, but I think you can only take out, the way I understand it, the money that you have put in. Like if it's accumulated, 10% or 100%, whatever, over those years, you can't take out that until the retirement time. Is that right?
With a Roth IRA, as long as you're over age 59 and a half, you can withdraw the funds, but you're
Right.
not required to withdraw them. There are a few ways that you can withdraw funds prior to age 59 and a half without penalty. One of those is actually a down payment on a home. So there are ways you can do it, but you really need to make sure you're actually within the rules. If you're not within the rules, you can have the taxes and penalties then. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. The way I understood it too is that, say I put $5,000 in this year, and next year I want to take it out. You could take it out without penalty because that's the money that you put in, but you can't take any accumulated interest at it. Like right now, if you're under 59, is that wrong?
Say that one more time.
Okay. Say I'm 25 years old and I put $2,000 in this year, and next year I'm able to take out what I put in, but not any accumulated interest.
As far as I know, you can't take that out. There are ways that you're able to, but that's where you start blending the rules. Once you get to retirement, you're unrestricted on withdrawal from the Roth.
Okay. I must be wrong at that because I've been advising people wrongly then that the money that you put in, you could take it out anytime before. So, okay. Another question is, if a person's making more than whatever is acceptable for Roth IRA, I heard it from my banker actually yesterday that there's a backdoor Roth IRA that you could put money in if you're making over a certain amount.
There is a such thing as a backdoor Roth IRA. It's special situations, it works. The one thing to realize though is you don't get the tax deduction. So people that do not qualify for Roths typically benefit from the tax deduction from a 401k. When you start contributing to the Roth, that funds are not tax deductible. So it does affect the tax situation there.
So it sounds like a person is just better to put it into savings rather than into Roth. Just put aside to save, right?
It really depends on the situation. You have to remember there's multiple goals a person can have.
Right.
If you have paying down debt, retirement, and family planning all going on, add in estate planning, there's multiple things. So it's the backdoor Roth might make sense one year, but the next year it might be we need to focus on paying down debt. So let's not put more toward retirement. If you're doing the backdoor Roth, funds are being set aside for retirement. If there's a goal sooner than retirement, you also need to focus on the saving outside of just retirement savings.
The only other question I have is if your crystal ball says next year is not going to be a good year as far as investments, you're thinking it's going to be off, and is it better just to put it into other savings rather than into an IRA if you're younger? And is there any time that the investment in any IRA would not be warranted?
If you're younger, you have time on your side. So even if the market's down, you're actually buying at a discount. So there's a benefit there. Now, saying where will the market be in 2023, it's impossible to even predict. So I wouldn't even be predicting out that far. It's looking more at the short term, but planning long term for the goal.
Right.
And a lot of that goes with being invested in your risk tolerance.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to mute you again. Okay, anyone else have any questions? I'm going to give it till 1:15. If I don't see any other hands raised, then I'm going to stop this presentation and let everyone get on with their day. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in. As always, feel free to reach me on the information on your screen, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.